Hi, my name is Corey Minter, and I am the president of Trinity Employment Specialists. We are a staffing organization located here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We put a huge emphasis of our staffing efforts into quality over quantity. I was in a meeting yesterday with a new client, and he's used staffing firms for years. He's got a very successful business and what he does is he lays all of the technology wiring throughout buildings when they're building buildings. It's really fascinating what he does, but he's one of the top companies around. You wouldn't notice it when you drive into his parking lot, but he's got one of the most prolific companies in Tulsa in doing this. And right now, we are building a lot of new construction and commercial development throughout this city. It is a weird time because, all at the same time, just today they said that our gross domestic product had fallen more than it has. Like it's fallen 30%, but yet we're building and building and building. So this guy's really doing well right now. But one of the things that he kept saying is the staffing firms that he uses, they would just send him over people. And when Trinity jumped into the industrial arena, one of the number one things that I kept telling, I only hired recruiters that were willing to do this, and I told our entire team, and I've led our entire team throughout this entire time, we still are going to keep the same quality that we do in our professional division and in our medical division as what we do in the industrial division, because there's been a big problem, at least in this city, in just firing over bodies to do a job because it's the industrial arena. And this is tolerated. I think that the employers think, well, this is all that we can get. And we were trying to explain the vision. And to be honest with you, I think he doesn't even believe us that this is what we're actually going to focus on. And I keep telling him, I'm like, listen, man, we are actually going to not send you candidates when our intuition says that they're not good, even if their resume looks good. We don't want this problem. Managers, we spend more time dealing with employees that don't show up. Just before I walked in here today, my mentor, he owns 2 companies, and he's got a new story every day because it's an industrial company. And today the story is his employee didn't show up for work, and he walks into Lowe's, and he's working there at Lowe's. And he's like, well, what are you doing here? Yesterday the story was a guy filed for unemployment on him, still works with him, and then also went and told him that he's got COVID, and so he needs to get COVID pay, but won't send him the information. So they're fighting unemployment. They haven't terminated him. They are giving him COVID pay, and then they paid for him to go to the doctor to get tested because he says that he's sick and that he got it on the job, which now he has a negative COVID test, but it took him 20 days to get the COVID test, and the COVID test that he sent his employer had no date on it on when it was done. So that was all erased. So these are the things that industrial people deal with on a daily basis in their jobs. And I was just telling him, listen, we don't want to deal with that as a staffing firm. And I know other staffing firms, they'll make money in dealing with this. We don't want to deal with it. There are certain things that are up arrows for me, and there are things that are down arrows for me. And the down arrows for me, I don't want to deal with. So we have just made a decision as a staffing firm, or at least I made a decision as a staffing firm, that we are going to do everything we can to not deal with these people. And so what's funny is this is him calling me right now. And he's probably calling me about this issue because we are his HR resource whenever he needs it. But I want to talk about 20 hiring challenges and solutions. And I know I spent my first 5 minutes of just ranting about what it is that we do, but this is what we want to offer our customers at Trinity as a staffing firm. But these are some of the things that you've got to work on right now in the craziest hiring situation that we've ever been in. Number one is building a strong employer brand. Right now, employees have a lot of opportunities. Most people are not willing to go to work. All of these unemployed people are not electing to go to work because the unemployment package is so great that they make more by staying on unemployment than they would if they actually went to work. So it's very difficult to get people to want to go to work. You've got to paint a picture for them of what it's going to be like working in your company. And a lot of people go and they'll read about your company and they will make judgments based about what it's like to work in your company based on what they see online. As a company, it's your responsibility, and you really need to spend a decent amount of time building your employer brand. So how can you do that? Well, I want to read to you some statistics. An overwhelming majority, 75% of job seekers consider an employer's brand before even applying for a job, according to LinkedIn. And if they don't like what they see, they won't apply or accept the job offer. Corporate Responsibility magazine has found that 75% of people would not take a job with a company that has a bad reputation, even if they were unemployed. And this is what companies are dealing with. It's really important that you build your personal brand. You can do this by encouraging people to go and write reviews about your company. And I'm telling you, you have to stay on top of it every single day. You've got to get and ask people to write reviews. Glassdoor, Yelp, all of these different companies. Indeed, for us, is a place that people will go and write stuff about us. Now, luckily for Trinity, we have a 4.8 or higher ranking on all of these reviews. And we've got, like Google, I think I checked today, we have over 200 reviews. Glassdoor, we've got 20 or so. And Yelp, I think 4 or 5, and Indeed 4 or 5 or something like this. But it's really important that you build your employer brand, but you've got to be intentional with it. You've got to be intentional in asking people to write these reviews about you. And if you don't, the only time people are motivated to write a review, I'm telling you, is when they are irritated at you and they want to get back at you. That is when people have enough motivation to research you, find out where you're at, and then write a review about you. The second thing is, and we'll do 2 or 3 parts of this because I've got 20 items here, and I've gone off for the first bit about how we do staffing. The second thing is having a lack of qualified candidates. Right now, if you go and place an Indeed ad, and let's just say you're doing it for customer service, that's pretty general, right? It's pretty easy to find someone. I am promising you that 80 to 90% of everyone that's going to apply is not going to be, they're not going to be qualified for the job. It's pretty remarkable. You will spend money for every one of those job ads. You're going to spend money. It depends on how much per click you put on there. You know, you can do as many as 25 cents per click to $2 per click. But let's just expect that you're going to get at least 100 to 150 job applications. That's average. So you're going to spend roughly, if it's 25 cents a click, you're going to spend about $75 for it. If you're doing $2 a click, you're going to spend $400 or $500 for that, for those number of for those job applications, and none of them are going to be applicable. And so this is a big deal, trying to get qualified job applicants. So this is a big thing. One of the things that you can do is really spend time honing in on what it is that you're wanting. Be very specific in your job ad. Make sure that you give the qualifications up at the very top. Be very careful with your job title. Make sure the job title, as much as it can, explains what the job is, even if in your company that's not the exact job title, use the job title to help hone in on what you're doing. Get on Google and research the most efficient job description or job ad. It's really going to help you to get a better result and not waste your money. But you can also call Trinity, and we do this perfectly for a lot of people all around town. If you want to call Trinity, give us a call at 918-622-2588, or you can visit us online at trinityemployment.com.